Hello again, everyone, and for the second week in a row, yours truly is hosting Open Mic Night. I'm Marky Mark, and I'm not alone. First, I got Ken from Ken and Ken in the Morning. How's it going?
Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
afternoon. Afternoon, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm retired. Morning's evening, evening's morning. I take naps whenever. There we go. And I had sent it to the wrong X account, so now I can send it to the right place.
I was about to
And I'm
say
watching hockey.
it had an exclamation mark when it went live, and then of course we got the man himself, the man I'm going to be joining tomorrow night with his co-host on Steel City
Mhm.
Sports for a crossover with Astros Pirates tomorrow night. Big Rich, what's going on?
What's up, man? 2-2 Pirates and Astros down at
Yep.
Dakin Park. By the way, Ken, does this make us the Funky Bunch?
Are we
It
missing some?
might.
Yeah. Two
We might
two
be
of
the
the Funky
funky
Bunch.
bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah,
But
I got
yeah,
I got the
um,
game. I got the game on here too. Both.
yeah, uh, lots of crazy stuff going on, guys.
Dude, we went from like the NFL, whatever, nothing's really going on. And then all of a sudden, May 31st, July 1st, boom, a bunch of big items all at once. And only one that's well, two are kind of surprising, I guess. I mean, we all kept hearing about the A.J. Brown trade. We kind of knew that was going to come. Um, but yeah, it got crazy, man.
Yeah, I don't think it surprises anybody that AJ Brown is now a Patriot.
No, but I mean,
It, it-
the Eagles put themselves in a position they had to trade him. I mean, they got like what 8,000 receivers on the roster now.
well, but
So
the good part was they covered their butt, because they knew that he wasn't happy there. They knew he wanted out. So they were like, okay, fine, we're going to draft a guy. Plus, we have an established guy who can work with the kid. So if we get rid of AJ Brown, yeah, it's going to hurt a little bit, but it's not like we're rebuilding from square one.
and they got a good
And
return on him, right? A
they got
first,
good return.
yeah, and they drafted
Yeah.
well. So no, I mean that was no surprise. The Myles Garrett trade was a surprise actually, and then to find out that he was
Mhm.
unhappy and wanted to be traded was a little bit because the rumor mill on that was very short. Like I saw like one quick rumor, and all of a sudden the next day, boom, it happened. Like whoa! But you know what? That's a good trade for both teams.
I was just about to say that. I think that's a great deal for both. Verse is a tremendous player. He's about 6 years younger than Garrett.
Rookie
Plus, they're going to
contract.
get the one and the two and the three in the next 3 years. This is one of those trades that's a win-win. I think on both sides.
Well, it's rookie contract. So you've got him for two
Yep.
more years plus the fifth year option, which is still going to be cheaper. And you know what? Yeah, some people are saying, "Oh, it's the worst thing in the world for him because you're going to have to fill the shoes of Myles Garrett." No one expects him to be Myles Garrett. He wasn't traded for Myles Garrett. He was traded for the haul that he came with. And look, if he gets 14 sacks, fans in Cleveland are still going to love him.
He can do that.
And he can do that. So I mean, they're getting younger, they're rebuilding, and let's say Shaduki becomes their quarterback, things get even better. If they won what 3 games last year. If they win 5, 6, 7 games this year with Shador Sanders, and he looks like okay, wait a minute, now these draft picks don't have to be worried to package to get the quarterback they want or draft the quarterback they want. Now they can draft linemen, receivers. They could do all kinds of other things.
Here's what I'll say. All AFC North teams are probably thankful Miles Garrett is in LA now because they're like, phew, we don't have to face him. Oh,
Yeah,
by the
no,
way,
Yeah,
guess who
yeah.
plays the Cleveland Browns week 1 this year?
That's the
My
Rams.
guys.
yeah, but Jared Verse is good.
He's not Miles
He
Garrett.
is.
He's still going to hurt
He
you.
could be.
He
He
could
could
be.
be.
Now, look at what they did. When you think about what the Rams did, is they're all in, right? They're getting Garrett at his prime versus waiting for Verse to hit his. Verse is still
Hmm.
ascending. Cleveland's like, look, we got this guy at his prime, but we're not going to be able to do anything with him. You want him? Give us the guy of the future and some draft picks, and go win you a Super Bowl. That's basically what this deal is for both teams. The Rams are all in. right? They got a guy in his prime, in his early 30s. They're all in, contract the whole nine. They get a guy who's still ascending with what, over 14 sacks?
Your mic's going in and out, Ken.
They got a guy who's still ascending, had what, 13, 14 sacks last year? As they're rebuilding their organization. And if they win 3 games, guess what? They're in the Manning sweepstakes. If they win 7 because Shador Sanders pans out and is the quarterback that people thought he was before the draft last year, or some people thought he was, then win-win. Now they got their quarterback. They got a good running back. They got Verse. Now they can go get a receiver. They can get a tight end. Now they have tons of money for free agency because they freed up all that money that they're not paying Garrett anymore. It's a win-win it's a win for both teams.
Verse is the puppy with big paws. He's going to grow into being tremendous. Rav, what's going on, bud?
How's it going, yo? Right at it with the trade, man. That was on a scale of 1 to 10. That was like 15. I did not see that coming, bro. I mean, that
no one did.
Unbelievable.
Oh, we were just talking about it being a win-win for both teams.
But did you see the one report that had Verse asking what happened in Baltimore that killed the Max Crosby trade? He's like, I don't want to go to Cleveland. How'd they kill that trade?
Well, I don't want to change the subject real quick, but before everyone else hopped on, I'm doing fine. But at the start, I was not okay because in, 25 seconds, Nikolaj Ether scored the first goal in the finals, 3rd fastest according to Ken. And then he scored another one 12 minutes later. But now it's 2-1 going at the end of the first. But, yeah, a hot way to start the damn finals. Scoring the first goal in 25 seconds.
You got to love the Stanley Cup final. And what year is this now? 32? That
33.
A Canadian team, 33, the 33rd year in a row, a Canadian team will not win the Cup. And for Dylan and I, our state is going through withdrawals because it's the first year in 7 years the Cup will not be residing in Florida.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And Vegas, you can just crown us the greatest expansion team in NHL history. 3rd final appearance in just 9 seasons. But
St.
Carolina's
Louis will argue with you, but I'd back you.
But St. Louis. No, they won a Stanley Cup. Unfortunately, I think it was Nashville they beat.
Okay. No, the reason they'll argue with you is not because they won one. They finally did win one like 3-4 years ago. But their first 3 years in the league, they went to the Stanley Cup every year. But you got to remember, that's when the league went from 6 to 12, and they were in the all expansion conference. All the expansion teams were in one conference, and they were the best of the expansion. So that's one reason they went to the Cup final every year is because they were the best of the new guys.
And then Bobby will have his famous moment against the Blues when he scored the Cup-winning goal, and then
it could have been the Buffalo Bills of the NHL if they'd have went 4 years in a row and not win 4 in a row.
Okay, guys, I've got a question. I don't plan on being here long, but what all with the big trades that happened involving Myles Garrett and A.J. Brown? What are the biggest trades that you can remember in NFL history? One regarding your team and one just in NFL in general.
Oh, the biggest one to me, league-wide, was Herschel Walker.
Yeah.
I was going to say that, yeah.
Herschel or Ricky Williams?
Or Ricky Williams, yeah.
I was going to say, for me, it had to have been Ricky Williams.
The Steelers don't make trades. The Steelers don't really make trades. Probably the biggest one we made. Man. I'm trying to think.
Jerome Bettis?
Nika? Huh?
I mean,
Jerome Bettis in 96?
But I mean, here's the question, though.
Kevin Green or Jerome Bettis. Yeah, either Kevin Green or Jerome Bettis, one or the other.
Impact for the Bears? Joe Thuney would have to be in there. I mean, Khalil Mack was impact when we traded for him, but Thuney's definitely impact. There was no big trade leading into the 85 season for that team. If you're judging it because a trade led to a Super Bowl win or something, I think the book is out. We'll have to see where the Tooney trade, where the Bears end up. But I would almost think Joe Tooney would be one of the biggest trades, and it was a low key trade. It wasn't a blockbuster. It wasn't like the Khalil Mack blockbuster trade. The Joe Tooney deal was kind of a small trade in comparison, but that might be the biggest trade the Bears have ever made.
I mean, as a Jag fan, I mean, we've made some. I mean, we haven't made crazy trades. I mean, maybe the Jalen Ramsey trade or Travis Hunter. Maybe the biggest underrated trade was when we got Mark Burnell from Green Bay. And Burnell gave us 7 or 8 really good years as a starting quarterback. But NFL draft but NFL in general, you could argue maybe the Matthew Stafford deal.
Actually, I'll take you one better, the Brett Favre deal, because our resident Packer fans not here. But remember,
which one?
The Packers trade for Favre, and he built a dynasty there.
Yeah,
I don't know if Stafford built a dynasty the same way Favre did, but that Favre trade, gets overlooked because once again, not a blockbuster trade at the time.
You're just hoping that.
And then actually, you can even go back to the Drew Brees, Eli Manning trade. That was a pretty big trade, with big impact. But the Brett Favre you have to consider too. I mean, that's the problem. We said initially when we say the 2 biggest blockbusters we've ever seen, but low key, the Joe Tooney is not a blockbuster. That might be the biggest trade Chicago's ever made. And what about Brett Favre for the Packers?
The Favre thing is interesting because a lot of people, the reason why that's not as high is a lot of people don't even know that he played for the Falcons.
Right.
I think that's probably the main reason why people don't even mention that one. Herschel Walker, for me, the Cowboys dynasty doesn't happen without all those draft picks Jimmy Johnson gobbled up. So I don't think that's one right there. I think the Eli Manning is right behind it. I think that changed both franchises, the Chargers and the Giants. And the Ravens, some people might argue with me, Anquan Bolton trade was one I hear a lot, but my favorite one was Marcus Peters because he would have never been available, but they traded away for Jalen Ramsey, who was the best corner in the league at the time, arguably. And so that made Marcus expendable, and they basically traded him for like a 4th rounder and like a marginal starter backup guy. And Peters, that really made a big impact. Peters was a real stud, was one. So probably I'm leaning to that to my best trade for the Ravens market because it was such a fleece.
With your team, though, you can go back to the Cleveland days, some of the trades they made when they were still in Cleveland that were impactful back then. I mean, but yeah, I think I would agree with you, though, for their time in Baltimore. Maybe as a franchise, Baltimore is an interesting case because their franchise counts as 2 teams. The original Cleveland Browns and the Ravens, same franchise. It's like the Hurricanes and the Hartford Whalers. Same franchise, right? When they moved, they changed their name.
I think they look at all the records under the new Cleveland Browns. I don't think
they shouldn't. I mean, they do, but they shouldn't. Because when you go to a Hurricanes game, they still have all the Hartford Whaler retired jerseys up. Because it's the same ownership, it's the same franchise. And
it is true. It was true in the beginning. So that's why you see guys like Ernest Biner knowledge.
But yeah, you're right. Bernie Kirk goes, where does he go? He goes to Cleveland. He doesn't go to Baltimore.
I don't.
But all the old Colts players go to Indianapolis. Same situation. Except the teams kept the name. Yeah. But no, I think that's an interesting case though with a team like Baltimore because really they're 2 franchises in one.
So I'm going with one of the biggest Pittsburgh trades. Had to be when we traded the 27th, the 3rd, and the 6th round pick with the Chiefs for the Troy Polamalu.
That was a big trade.
Mm-hmm.
See, and the thing is with those trades, we don't think about them right off the rip because it wasn't some big blockbuster deal. Even for the time, it was like a draft day trade for a prospect, or it was, Joe Tooney, we're going to give up, a 3rd round pick or whatever?
Well, Ken, the Steelers really haven't had any really big trades except for the draft. I mean, remember we
Right.
traded Antonio Brown for draft
Well, I would
picks, and
say
that was
most-
it.
I would say most teams haven't had big blockbusters. That we would consider
I mean-
for this discussion.
Trades
Like,
really
yeah,
in the NFL are the last 10 years.
I mean-
Really in totality, even sooner than that last 4 or 5. I don't think like we had trades that many big ones, player for player, almost never. Even draft picks during the season, you almost never saw it. Only
like,
on really
you know,
draft day.
Or
Yeah.
The Rams, I mean, Dylan brought up the Rams pick, the Rams swap with Stafford. I mean, that was obviously an all-in super impactful trade for them, and it did well. And look on the other side of the coin. Without that trade, Detroit doesn't become what Detroit was. Hey, we got a Yinzer,
Yinzer?
jackwagon. You know, I mean, Detroit wouldn't be what Detroit is without that trade. So I mean, that's
Well, what would you call the Minka for Jalen Ramsey trade? I mean, it was just big names. It wasn't a really big blockbuster.
yeah. But the difference, though, with I think the Rams Detroit, why he brought it up, is because without the Stafford trade, Detroit is probably still a basement dwelling team with no talent. Like that trade that brought Goff there also gave him the draft picks. It got him Jameer Gibbs. It got him Amon-Ra St. Brown. It got him a lot of their core. That trade got him a lot of their core. And just like you can look at the Bears, actually, even the when they traded the number 1 to Carolina, look at all the core players that got them. And yeah, we traded away DJ Moore this year, right? But it got them a lot of core. So the impact on that was a blockbuster, I guess. But I mean, you're looking at the overall impact that it had maybe on the team that didn't proceed to win that trade, which a lot of people said, well, the Rams won that trade because they won the Super Bowl the next year. Okay, well, that's a good metric. But without that trade, where's Detroit? They're probably not where they are now. They're probably not in the mix like they are.
I'm gonna say this, and I know you guys already talked about it before I came on here, but the Rams
Maybe.
trade, I just love that trade for both teams. I thought it was outstanding, and it's so cool to watch the Rams do business. And this is the only team really I could think of that's successful in the draft era, the post-draft era. You know, all these scouting and all this other stuff, and scouting, blah 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 blah. F them picks. We take the picks. We get good players that are going to help us, and we're not going to worry about it. And
They
I love
find
that.
value in second round and beyond. They keep their money available to sign people and make trades like this every so often. And when think about it, they're a weird team. They're young and they're old, right? Some of the best players are about to age out, but they got these young guys coming up behind them. That's why when you saw after the last Super Bowl, they didn't have this rock bottom drop off when guys retired like AD. They had the next year they had the hangover, but they've been competitive, and now look, they're right back in a window. Like what? 2 years later, they're back in a window.
And not picking high ever. A lot of this team was 3rd, 4th, 5th round guys. Like they're just showing you how to do it. I mean, as far as getting rid of picks.
Well, it's also a GM
Go ahead.
that knows, look, maybe I don't pick so well in the first round, so I'll just trade it away for proven guys because I do really good in the later round. Know your strengths.
Cleveland, I think that made all the sense in the world. That
Thanks, Marcus.
that makes all the sense in the world to actually go ahead and do that. Like that's probably more than you would have gotten from
Tag Rich too, Mark. Sorry, Ralph.
Go ahead.
You good?
No, I just saw we're only on one channel Facebook, and I don't know why.
Well, when you Yinzers, figure it out.
Well, I didn't make the link.
What is the definition of a Yinzer, by the way, so everyone knows?
It's a Pittsburgher. It's a guy from Pittsburgh. Yins is, if you've ever noticed, that's the first time you ever heard Yins come out of my mouth. For me, it's not. I've been in Texas too long. Yins to me makes absolutely no sense, but it's a Pittsburgh. There is a language in Pittsburgh called Pittsburghese, and
Wash.
Yins is part of it.
Clothes.
You wash, slippy, different, netty. Like you're being a nosy person, you're being a netty. different stuff like that. There's a lot of different vernacular in Pittsburgh. It's a lot like Chicago, actually, because there's a lot of things that you say in Chicago that are completely different from anywhere else.
Yeah, like used
Same thing in
guys,
Pittsburgh.
tree beers, da bears.
Right. I found that out when I was in Peoria. It kind of trickled down to Peoria.
Yep.
But Pittsburgh has a lot of its own vernacular. There's actually a glossary that you can get. It's not big enough to be a dictionary, but there is a Pittsburghese dictionary that you can
You
get.
gotta love.
You can look it up online.
Well, I'll tell you
Yeah.
one state that needs a new language.
You know, we call it redding up the room. You know, when someone says
Yep.
redding up the room, that means clean that freaking thing.
I'll tell you
Right.
one. I'll tell you one state that needs a new language. Illinois.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know, but they failed to. They broke session. The Illinois government is broken until October. That's when they're due back. No deal for the Bears to get a stadium. None. They had the mega project deal, which they had 2 months to debate. They killed it at the 11th hour and wrote this new bill that they passed the 11th hour in the Senate. The House never talked about it, never looked at it. They definitely didn't vote on it. And now they're not coming back to October. So no deal for the Bears. And already the vilification of the Bears has started in Chicago. The governor, he who likes to tax you for everything, said he wasn't going to cost the state, the taxpayers, billions of dollars for billionaire owners. When the irony was, they weren't paying billions of anything. They were paying about, the range was 500 to 900 million tops for infrastructure around Arlington Heights, and the Bears just wanted to cap the tax about $9 million a year, kind of like what SoFi's paying. And they were using the guise of we're saving the taxpayers money so that the property owners, their home property tax, they were saving them. And by the way, Vegas just tied the game at 2. So it looks like the Bears may move to Hammond. The Governor Braun has already given a message like, hey, we're just waiting to see. We're optimistic. Of course, wearing a Bears jersey when he did it. Pritzker, of course, is saying that bailouts for billionaires, so they're vilifying the Bears. And the Bears like, well, we're going to look at see what Illinois has, and we're sticking to our timeline. So we'll give you an update as soon as we make a decision. The writing seems to be on the wall. That was them saying, call a special session now, and we'll give you one last Hail Mary chance, or deuces, we're going to Hammond. I would expect the Bears are going to be moving to Indiana within 2 weeks.
Why don't they? Do they really want to do that?
The Bears,
Got no other
because
option.
George Halas wanted to build a stadium in Arlington Heights back in the 70s. Late 60s, early 70s, but Mayor Daley strong-armed him into going into Soldier Field in the city. And then they bought Arlington. That was kind of fulfilling a dream of Papa Bear. Because they just want to own a stadium. They want to own their home. Well, then when the city of Chicago got ruled out as a site, they poisoned the well for it to be anywhere but Chicago. Like, well, if it's not going to be Chicago, considering we have the most votes, we're just going to torpedo anything, and we're going to blame the Bears, blah, 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 and we're going to kill it. So the city of Chicago under Mayor Johnson that has killed any chances of the Bears staying in Illinois because they want to have the Bears rent. Now, this new plan they came up with, and gentlemen, you're going to laugh. So here's the new proposal that came out of the Illinois Senate, co-authored by a Chicago senator. They want to create make it so that any township over 70,000, I believe, in a certain size county like Cook, can create a sports authority to build stadiums and do stuff like that. The deal is the Bears could build on the land they own, Arlington. They would have to pay for the entire stadium themselves, so they're paying for the taxpayers are not building the stadium, the Bears are, and then the Bears will then gift this multi-billion-dollar structure to the state in exchange for not paying property tax for however many years. That's their big thing. Yeah, well, right now, the Bears pay no property tax on Soldier Field. The city of Chicago pays no property tax. No one makes any property tax on the current stadium because it's owned by the city and they don't pay taxes on it. So the state doesn't make any money. if you at least do the original thing the Bears wanted to do, you'd make $10 million a year on property taxes you currently don't make, plus the hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue an NFL franchise brings your city every year. They've decided, nope, because it's not going to be where we want it, how we want it, and you're not going to be a slave to us. Go have fun in Indiana. And Indiana's like, you guys are morons. Thank you.
This is exactly why a lot of people don't know this one's story as much. This is exactly why the Commanders are way out in where they are in Landover. Same thing.
Landover. Huh?
They wanted to see when RFK, which was the smallest stadium in the NFL at the time, they wanted a bigger stadium. They couldn't get it in DC, Jack Kent Cooke said, you know what, I'll just buy the land, build it myself. That's why it's way out there, and do it. And all he ever got was problems after problems, and we got infrastructure, and you owe us this and this, and it's the same thing in Chicago. So these cities really complain about these guys when they don't do what they want, but some of these guys, like, the Bears don't need them.
No.
They have an offer to go wherever they want to go. It's the same thing Jack Kent Cooke did. He just built it way out there, and all they did was they wanted to take his land. They don't want a permit, that, and all the other stuff.
Well, Kansas City is no longer going to be in Kansas City, Missouri. They're going to be in Kansas City, Kansas. They're crossing the state line. This is why the Niners are not in San Francisco. Hey, what's up, Snoop? Snoop Van Poop in the house. This is why the Bears are going to Indiana, because, and you look at kudos to the state of Indiana. Republican governor, Democrat-controlled legislative. They came together in a bipartisan fashion in record time. Like, it took them 2 or 3 weeks to get their bill passed and signed by their governor, because they realized, look, as a Republican, I'm not going to get everything I want. As a Democrat, I'm not going to get everything I want. But together, we're all going to get something that's going to help all of us. And they did it. Illinois couldn't do that, and then the city of Chicago was like, well, you know what? If you're not going to build it in the city, and we're not going to get to dictate to you how everything's run. You're not going to build anywhere in Illinois. And they just effectively ran the Bears out. And guess what they're going to do now? They're going to waste more taxpayer dollars when the Bears move to Hammond, and they're going to sue them, the naming rights, which they're going to lose because there's so much precedent out there. Jets, Giants, Chiefs, 49ers, the Cowboys, of all these teams that don't play in the city they're from, but play in the suburbs or across the state line, that they're going to lose money, and the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois is going to be so friggin' stupid that they're going to keep spending millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to sue.
Carlson just scored.
And lose. Yeah, I must be about 45 seconds behind having to go So, just the guy who does all the there's the goal. Nice goal. The guy who does all these sports stadiums, he's done like 23 different stadiums. They was interviewed on Fox 32 Chicago the other day. And he said the deal the Bears gave the state was the best sweetheart deal he's ever seen any professional sport franchise give a state. And the fact that they balked on it and did what they did is just unreal.
Look, you look at the state of things. Malls don't exist anymore. A lot of people don't go out the way they used to. They ought to be begging for this type of thing. They ought to be begging for this type of thing. So I don't understand. But again, cities and things have to have control, have to do it this way, have to get their, it's really like mobsters. I was watching Godfather in Harlem. Everybody's got to get their piece, or it's not a product.
When it comes to the city of Chicago, let me break it down another way. Okay, Chicago hosted World Cup games in '94, right? The '94 World Cup. It was the host city. Mm-hmm. They were approached to be a host city for this year's World Cup. They turned it down because they told what the FIFA, and they said, well, we'll host it, but we want to tax this. We want to do surcharges for this. We want this money. We want that money. They asked for a bunch of shit that no one else gets. And when FIFA said, no, you're not going to throw on these extra taxes. No, you're not going to throw on these extra charges. Well, you're going to control the ticket prices. But hey, you're still going to make hundreds of millions of dollars. Chicago said, nope, because we can't control FIFA and what FIFA does. We don't want it. So they lost out on the World Cup by withdrawing. and that cost them legitly hundreds of millions of dollars. Now with the Bears, they've just done the same thing, and over the next 20, 30 years, it's going to cost them billions of dollars.
And I think the
So
White Sox might leave.
they,
I mean,
the cell was built in 1991. It opened, or 1990 it opened. So they could lose the White Sox too.
I mean, that stadium is like, I mean, we got minor league team here not that far in Frederick, and they're drawing better than the White Sox. I mean, you got 6,000-7,000 at Nimio Field. I mean, and they got, I mean, it's friends and relatives in the White Sox. Now they're terrible, which adds to it.
Well,
that's
they
part
might
of
be
it too.
good this year. They might get they're doing better. They might draw some fans, but I mean, dude, when it comes to Chicago and the way they're with their teams, like the Cubs, they're never going to leave Wrigley, so that's never going to be an issue. And the city's never going to charge them more than they're paying $3 million a year in property tax at Wrigley for their conference. That's the other thing. All the other Chicago stadiums none of them are paying more than $4 million a year. They're just a mess. They're a mess, and it's the oldest one. The founding franchises, and you're gonna lose them because you're stupid. I mean, and now they're vilifying the team. I was watching local coverage out of Chicago, and it's just, they're blaming McCaskey. Well, why are you blaming McCaskey? He's been trying to get a deal for basically 5 years. He's wanted to do something for 3 years since they own the land, and for 2.5 of those years, the state of Illinois said, "We ain't got time for you. We don't care." The only reason they cared now is because Indiana stepped up to the plate and said, "We'll do something." And in sports in general, I mean, look at some of the cities who were smart. Cincinnati, they weren't playing with their football team. They understood how much money it makes. L.A. understood the assignment. Cleveland understood the assignment, right? New York even understood it with the Bills Stadium, because these cities know how much intrinsic value these franchises bring to them and the revenue. And with these stadiums, well, minus Highmark, which is open air, they bring NCAA Final Fours, monster truck rallies, political conventions, Super Bowl, WWE WrestleManias. I mean, you name all these other events that they bring in tourism dollars for an off season, and they get it, except for Illinois, because they wanted to tax them at such a higher rate, it would make it not feasible. Why would you, if you're the Bears, why would you pay $150 million a year in property tax, or $100 million or $50 million, when no one else in any sport in this league is paying that?
Hi there.
Even close.
What can I get you?
I will have a gin.
Why would you pay 100 times the tax rate of any other team in professional sports?
Especially when you can build your own stadium, you can afford to do it if you want, or if you don't want, you got a whole nother city offering you a much better deal. Just as a business
deal. The Bears have never asked for public money to build this stadium. None. They're funding the entire stadium. If they build in Arlington, they own the land. They're funding the entire stadium.
The cities don't want that. That's crazy. And it's not just Chicago. I know you're going, Chicago's a liberal, blah, blah, blah. But no states want.
Well, no. Arlington Heights wants it. Arlington Heights, they're like, yes, please come here. The state of Chicago, because they're losing the Bears and they're getting a little butthurt, they're trying to kill it. But then the state everyone wants to tax them at that high rate, because it's Illinois. They got to pay for stuff.
Everything
that they want to do. And that's a cash cow for them, they think. But now, instead of having that a couple $100 million a year in revenue they make from the Bears, they're going to lose all of it.
So Indiana's going to have 2 football teams.
Yep.
But
within what, 3 hours of each other?
Just like Pittsburgh and Philly.
It's going to put the Bears closer to the Lions as well. So you're going to go between that drive. I mean, the Bears, I think the new stadium will be dead center between Detroit and Indy. And it'll put them closer to Cleveland, or not Cleveland, but Cincinnati.
Yeah.
It's still a 3-hour drive from Cincinnati to Indy.
Yeah. So, I mean, the city of Chicago is just going to lose out. And, it's funny, there's enough land out there. We were hypothesizing on the morning show Hey, there's enough land. The Bears could build an amusement park out there, a theme park. The Bears could be the first professional sports team to build a theme park. They wouldn't be the first professional sports team to have a theme park because Anaheim Mighty Ducks, owned by Disney, of course. But the
The
Bears, if they
Altoona,
wanted to,
the Altoona Curve have an amusement park in their outfield and behind the fence.
no, I mean a legit theme park, like a Disney World kind of theme park.
I
Roller
don't know. It's a
coasters,
little
water
it's
rides, the whole 9 yards.
that's
Well,
our double A.
Hershey Bears, you could go there too if you're going to minor league.
Hershey Park.
Literally, the
Yeah.
theme park is really right there near the arena, Hershey Park Arena. But you see,
They're
the
connected,
Mavericks
yeah.
want to do the same thing. Mavericks want to do the same thing. They want to go ahead and build a brand new arena at an old mall, and they want to go ahead and just do the whole thing. And this is what you're seeing a lot of these deals are. They're trying to get in the real estate business. They don't want to
Yeah,
just.
they're leaving downtown. They've already said they're leaving downtown. They're leaving downtown Dallas.
I
I'm
thought
just
there was
curious,
a chance
but-
they could go to Las Vegas too.
I'm
I don't know
gonna
if that's going
pull
to
up.
happen, but I think there was a chance of it.
Vegas has been smart. Think about it. Vegas in the last decade have gained a hockey team, which is winning game one of their third Stanley Cup final they've been to, winning game one 3-2 right now. They've picked up the Raiders and they're picking up the A's.
And they're
think
getting an
that-
NBA team, which is why I think Dallas has got to stay
And-
because I think they're getting the expansion franchises.
And the Aces have won a couple championships in the WNBA, and their arena football team, the Vegas Nighthawks, is on a quest of going back to back in arena football.
I think the A stadium is going to be too small.
I haven't seen the new stadium for
I
them.
think it's only going to sit like 32,000.
For the
It
A's
looks
stadium?
nice. It looks awesome, though.
Yeah, but for baseball, isn't that about the average? What's the average in the MLB?
40,000.
Not even
40, 42, something like that.
Not even that.
I mean, I don't even think the Cubs fit 33,000 in Wrigley, do we? I don't think so.
I know Dyken Park can fill up to about 40,000.
I think you build
Well,
it like 40,
Dodgers-
45 because you're going to have some like playoff games opening day. You're going to have a few more. But the
The
average is about 30,000, if that.
The average is 42.
Okay.
I don't
The
know.
largest stadiums are Dodger Stadium at 56, Chase Field at 48, and T-Mobile Park at 48. The smallest are Progressive at 35, Lone Depot Park at 37, and Fenway at 38.
Wow, so Wrigley gets more than that. Wow, okay, Wrigley's a little bit.
Is that attendance or is that just stadium size?
Wrigley
That's
holds
capacity.
I think 30. I think 38.
That's capacity.
Ken.
Yeah,
I think
I
that's what
always thought Wrigley was smaller than that for some reason. I don't know why.
Since they
Well, with
did
all
the
the-
expansion at Wrigley, they went
That's
up to like almost
But-
39.
Well, do they count the rooftops?
Yeah, because those are counted seats now. Those are counted tickets.
That's where the difference is.
Yeah.
Yeah, counting the rooftops is the difference there. The rooftops probably had
Well-
about 2,000 or 3,000.
And don't
According-
don't turn your heads, guys. But Riley Green is starting to get hot. He's hit home runs
According-
back-to-back days.
Yeah. According to Major League Baseball, the official capacity of Wrigley Field is 41.6.
Wow,
That must be with standing room.
it's got to
I don't know. I'm just saying that's what MLB is showing, is that it's 41.6. PNC is 38.7.
be. All I know is that up until about 2 days ago, the NFL offseason was kind of boring. And then all of a sudden, the last 2 days, it's like not boring. Between the Bears Stadium and the state of Illinois debacle and these trades, the NFL got a little more interesting this week.
We didn't even get to the obvious one unless you guys talked about it. A.J. Brown. I
Yeah,
mean, that
we-
was the obvious
we
one.
gloshed it. We gloshed it, Rav. I mean, because I think everyone knew it was going to happen. I mean, look, it's a good trade for both. We said, it's a good trade for Philly, who's got more receivers than God on their roster, and it's good for, But here's one thing though I want to throw up there. I didn't say earlier. And Rav, let me know what you think about this one. I hear a lot of people going, "Oh, well, A.J. Brown's back with his coach he had in Tennessee. This is a great thing." Yeah, he also demanded a trade away from that coach, and that's how he went to Philly to begin with.
You also got to take one other thing into consideration. That first round pick is very possibly going to be a top 10 pick because the schedule New England has this year and that team in general, because that team is really not that juggernaut of a team, even with A.J. Brown. Their O-line is still bad. The defense is still questionable. That could be a top 10 pick for Philly for A.J. Brown.
Well, and also, let's not forget, Drake May has a new center. They traded their center off to the Bears. So that offensive line is changing.
Yeah, and it wasn't any good to start with. They can't do anything to get better.
They took their starting center, who started every game last year to include the Super Bowl,
Oh, we got a tie
traded
game.
to the Bears for like a 5th-round pick.
Yeah.
So their O-line's got issues. And like you said, it wasn't that good anyway. It's going to be interesting.
I just don't want to see
Trading
Drake
away
May
from
turn
the
into
coach,
a
that doesn't bother me much because I think it was about money. I don't think it had anything to do with Vrabel in particular, why he didn't want to be. Tennessee wasn't going to pay him for whatever reason. So I think that's it. So it's definitely good for New England. I mean, they need a receiver. They got to do something if you even hope to beat Buffalo. So they have to do that. So it makes a lot of sense. Philly, I don't know why him and Hurts don't like each other or didn't get along or whatever, but they had enough of that. They don't need.
Oh,
that.
no, the reason is very valid, Rav. The reason is very valid and very obvious. A.J. Brown is not Hurts' number one choice. Hurts' number one choice is to hand the ball to 26. And ever since they brought in Barkley as a free agent, A.J. Brown has been squawking because he wasn't the number one piece of the offense behind Hurts. Now Hurts' number one option is 26, not 11. And that's where the problem comes in, is because A.J. Brown thinks he should be the guy that the offense rotates around. And since they brought Barkley in, it didn't anymore.
Hey, real quick, Carolina just scored. Stall put it in 3-3 tie. The thing with A.J. Brown, though, like he wants to
Should I
be
go
guy,
get my
right?
Jordan Stall jersey?
You better be wearing it. What's A.J. Brown going to do when Romeo Dobbs is the guy who gets all the touchdowns? Because Dobbs, as much as the guy, I don't think he's that great receiver. He's probably a better 2. He'll probably do better now in New England as a 2 instead of the hybrid 1 thing he was doing in Green Bay. But he always finds a way to get sneakily open in the end zone. What's A.J. Brown going to be like when he's not getting the red zone touchdowns and Romeo Dobbs? Are we going to re-see the diva where he's going to cry about not being the man and get the rock? Is this going to be a problem for New England? Because Dobbs is not great, and A.J. Brown is going to be the guy, but everyone knows that he's the guy, so guess who's going to get more opportunities? So when Dobbs gets more opportunities and starts getting more touchdowns that A.J. Brown's not getting, are we going to see diva moment again in New England?
I just don't. The reason I've never been able to wrap my head around Hurts and Brown, and I understand what you said about Barkley and all that, but I don't know how much more production you think you're going to get anywhere. He's already a top 10 productive receiver in the league. How much, do you have a better? Do you have a better quarterback now, Drake May or Hurts? Maybe. Some people would say maybe a little bit better, possibly. But
well, he's more of a passer than Hurts is.
Okay. Again, so what do you think his production is going to be in New England as opposed to Philly? Maybe he gets 1,200 opposed to what he got last year.
I don't think it's much different.
I don't think it's I don't think it's much different. No matter where he.
All I know is the Eagles saved what, $27 million?
Yeah, and look it's like the Eagles were smart. They drafted a replacement early. They got draft capital for him. They draft well. And for A.J. Brown, does he make New England better? Well, sure.
Don't leave out Johnny Wilson on this team. He was out all year on the IR.
But he makes them better though than he's better than Diggs was last year. So he makes them better, let's say, in that route. But look, production, I agree with Rav. Is it going to be much different? No, he's still going to draw double, triple teams. And then when he doesn't get the ball, and Romeo Dobbs, who's an opportunistic guy, and if he doesn't drop them, starts making catches and starts getting touchdowns, and now Drake May is looking at Dobbs and not looking at Brown. Now, guess what? Brown's going to be a crybaby again. He's going to demand another trade.
Don't forget Trayvon Henderson too, and Stevenson. Don't forget those two.
I think I agree, but I think he's probably going to get double more in New England than he would in Philly. I would think.
Okay, just going off of last year, Rav. Okay, when it comes to number of targets, AJ Brown was 16th in the league. Receptions, he was he was 20th in the league. Yards, 19th. Touchdowns, 19th. So, yards per game, he was 12th because he did miss one game or 2 games. I'm sorry. So he wasn't that top 10, top 5 receiver. He's a top 20 receiver, which I think throws a little monkey wrench into things too, especially when you look at some of the guys that were ahead of him. Like, Dalton Schultz had more catches than him. Jake Ferguson had more catch. Keenan Allen had more catches than him. Hell, Bijan Robinson had more catches than AJ Brown did last year. So yeah, I'm sure that's where he's getting his butt hurt from, is that he's not the number one guy and not a premier guy in the NFL numbers wise. And he's thinking that's because Hurts isn't throwing in the ball enough. When you look at his number 16 ranking in targets, it's 65 less than Jamar Chase, 50 less than Amon-Ra St. Brown, 40 less than Trey McBride, 30 less than Chris Olave. Hell,
Chris Olave was hurt all season too.
He had 19 fewer targets than Wan'Dale Robinson.
But if you're winning games, who cares?
I understand. I'm with you. I'm looking at AJ Brown's mindset. That's all.
AJ Brown, when he's not getting the catches, when Romeo Doubs is getting those touchdown throws in the red zone and not him, the bitchassery is going to come out. He's going to cry like a little bitch again. I hate to say this because he's a super talented player, but he's not a team player. It's all about me, 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 me. And when he's not getting the opportunities and other people are getting them, here's the irony of it. Romeo Doubs is going to get those opportunities. Why? Because A.J. Brown is there. If A.J. Brown's not there, Doubs won't get as many opportunities as he will probably get. And A.J. Brown, instead of relishing the fact that he's forcing teams to triple cover him to leave his teammates open so that they can win games, will fall back to his bitch-assery and start complaining about how he's not the man, the MVP, getting the rock, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's his MO. He's already shown it.
Marcus, how far did O'Neal Cruz just hit that home run?
It hasn't landed yet.
That's what I was trying to ask him. I just saw that. And Andy Rodriguez hit another home run, Rich.
He did. But yeah, O'Neal Cruz home run.
And I just want to let him know Pete Alonso hit a home run tonight too, Rav.
12. Deal with it.
Warming up. My hot take at the beginning of this is sounding better and better. Hello, Mrs. Rav.
Here's a question for you guys. Have you guys heard about
Mrs.
Josh
Rav
wanting to trade in Arizona?
She could have came on and said her name. She could have came on and said some more. Hi.
Rich put him on. Rich had on Facebook. We had our anniversary last week, and she's like, Rich says, "Happy anniversary, Rav," and she goes, "Who in the hell is Rav?"
Well, a spot is taken.
Why does never call you?
Does she want to come on and hear why we call you Rav?
No, it's just I had to explain it. She's upset. She's like, "But who is Rav? Who are they called?"
Rav is you, Rav. That is you.
A spot is taking Mike Burrows off the mound.
What do you guys think of this Josh Sweat deal? I mean, he wants out of Arizona
because they stink.
The which deal now?
They're talking maybe a 4th round pick for this guy from the rumor people. Green Bay thinks they can get him fourth round pick after he signed a very lucrative contract last year in Arizona. I hope, and people are like, well, he wants to be traded. And my response was like, so? He chose Arizona last year knowing they were going to be asked and got a big contract. And now he's not happy because, oh, wait, and actually, they're not even asked. They lost a lot of games, but they weren't terrible. Like, ask Green Bay how hard that game was against them. It took overtime. Like,
How bad?
they,
How bad was it that we just scored on a sacrifice bunt?
that's pretty bad. Arizona's not a bad football team.
Sweat's not that good of a player either. I don't know why he's always. I mean, he was good in Philly, solid in Philly, but he's not as great pass rusher, S rusher to be demanding stuff. I don't understand.
He's 1 year removed after signing a 5-year massive deal that still has guaranteed money this year.
Well, I think but Arizona's terrible. Like, you even got, for God's sake, Jacoby Brissett holding out. I mean, you got problems. That's bad.
I understand Jacoby more than I do Sweat, because Jacoby, now the situation's changed. He is the only quarterback really they've got to go with. I can understand giving him a pay raise, and I think with their cap, they got $35 million in cap. They should give Jacoby Brissett a $5 to $10 million raise this year. They should do like a 1 year extension where they throw on an extra $10 million this year and put $20 million on for next year. And I think that makes Brissett happy. I think that'd be fair for Brissett. But for Josh Sweat, dude, you chose Arizona last year. You chose to sign there for the money. You made your bed. Sleep in it.
It goes back to that thing of everybody wanting to go for the money instead of winning games. And like you said, Brissett's all they got, because I got news for you. Carson Beck ain't going to get them anywhere, anytime, anyhow. I could quarterback that team better than Carson Beck could. There's just not any possible way that they got a quarterback in there that's any good besides Brissett. If he gets hurt, they're so screwed.
And Brissett's like, in all honesty, with Brissett, I mean, the dude deserves the raise. He did it on the field for them last year. He made it possible for them to get rid of an albatross at quarterback they wanted to get rid of for years. He deserves to make more than $9 million this year.
You've won everything.
He deserves to make $20 million. He deserves the raise. He's proven the worth. They should give him the raise. His case is different than Josh Sweat, who a year ago signed a massive deal, and a year after his first year of a 5-year massive deal, well, I'm not happy here. I want to be traded because Gannon was fired and is now a coach somewhere else. Well, dude, you made your bed. Brissett at least
you keep saying that, but that's not going to win him any more games. I really think that's what this is. Like what we just talked about with Verse going to Cleveland. It's Cleveland. How happy you want somebody to be in a situation in Cleveland? Like, they have no idea what they're doing. Like, and I don't know, it may be true in Arizona, they got a new coach before, but I hear that. But when a team is bad or you have no idea what they're doing, it's 29 years old.
I don't think it was the case that they don't know what they're doing. When you look at Arizona, they're interesting. Look, in one of the toughest divisions in football last year, the NFC West, they weren't a team that you automatically said, oh, yeah, it's a W. They made you earn it, right? They took teams.
Now, wait a minute, Ken. Hold on. This is a team that has holes as big as the Pirates bullpen.
True.
And with the 4th overall pick, they take a running back where they've got 7 running backs on the roster right now, including a guy in Tyler Algier that they just gave a big free agent contract to. Instead of getting an O-lineman, a pass rusher, a defensive back that can change the course of this team, I don't know that they know what they're doing.
I mean, okay, let's say though you do trade Sweat. What do you think they get from a 4th rounder?
Probably, if that.
I would think it would take a 2nd or a 3rd because, I mean, let me see what he did last year sack-wise for him.
He had 12 sacks here. He was good last year. He had 12 sacks.
So he's getting more than – you're getting a 2nd or 3rd round.
He's a good, solid B-plus pass rusher to me. He's not an A+. He's not like a Myles Garrett or even a Verse what we just saw. he's that.
No,
next
you're
step
getting
back.
probably a second rounder,
Yeah.
and they're going to have to eat contract because you just signed a massive deal, and the dead cap would kill them. So they're going to have to make sure that whoever they trade him to would take on contract. So that limits
Josh,
replacement.
yeah, Josh Sweat had 12 sacks last season. He had 30 combined tackles, and he had 17 quarterback hits.
He's a good player. He's not an outstanding player, and I think you're both right when you say the draft pick. He could be a second rounder or fourth, depending on who gets. Or I don't think you get a first round for him. I don't think.
No.
Oh no, I don't. I think a second is pushing it.
And look at though, and I'm saying like if I'm Arizona, I'm like, dude, you just picked us last year, and we gave you this massive deal, and now I'm unhappy because you knew we'd suck.
We keep saying that, but again, they don't even have the same coach. They have a whole different. That also matters to a player. Those are the two things. Like, is the team any good, and is the coach? Who's the coach? What's the system, etc.
Right, but if I'm the team, I'm like, you're unhappy. Your happiness is not required. Put it that way.
Okay. I mean, I
right. And Rav, you brought up Verse. There's a big difference. Josh Sweat went to Arizona by his own choice. Verse got sent to Cleveland as part of a trade. Josh Sweat went on his own accord to Arizona. I think that's got a little bit of a difference there too.
Yeah, I'm just sick of players, and Josh Sweat is kind of part of a bigger thing. I'm just fed up with. Oh, I'm unhappy. I demand a trade. Look unless you're like Verse, where you were sent there or you were drafted somewhere. If you signed somewhere as a free agent or signed a contract, a second contract or a free agency contract, I don't want to hear the I'm happy stuff. You chose to go there for whatever reason. You chose it. And now if you're unhappy with it, deal with it. Because you know what? I bet Adam's not happy going to work every day with what he has to go to work for. And I don't, he's not demanding a trade. I mean, we all have to deal with that. Okay, so now your work environment's changed and you're a little unhappy. Be an adult. Deal with it. You chose to be employed by them. You chose to go to work there. Suck it up, Cupcake.
That's good in the real world, right?
This is the real world.
That's no, it's not. NFL, it's not some ways because here's the difference. Let's say he gets an injury in camp and they decide to cut him, right?
Right.
He's got no choice in that. Players get cut all the time. They get cut for no reason.
Where does that fall into this scenario, though? So if he gets so it wouldn't matter what team he played for in that scenario. But in this scenario, as far as I'm not happy and don't want to work here anymore, I demand to be traded. Dude, you signed a contract a year ago.
It's the same. What my point is, it's the same attitude. It's the same attitude. It's not like they're going to be loyal to him, his production dips or anything like that, or that's not going to happen either. Telling him to get over it.
But like
you can't never get over it.
Like if you're the Cardinals, though, you're not going to be forced in the trade. He's not going to. He does not hold the cards. I guess is the bigger point I'm trying to say. Like if Arizona doesn't get what they want for him, like if I'm Arizona, I'm like, look, I get it. You're not happy. Suck it up, because unless I get exactly what I want for you, you're going nowhere.
And that could be what happens. And that could be what happens. I mean, but Arizona, I think it's just a bad team. Why would he want to play on a bad team if he can get to a good,
that's what makes it even worse, Brad. It's like he knew they were bad. He knew they were bad. And the coach was going to be on the hot seat. He knew all that going in, yet he still signed the big contract with them instead of taking maybe a lesser deal on a better team.
Do you think they take them bigger deals on shitty teams to try and get traded?
Well, that's the thing. I think that's the other thing you got to protect against, right? Like if you trade him, what do you tell other free agents? Well, just sign the biggest contract you can with the worst team, with a bad team. Be there for a year, then say you're unhappy and force a trade, so you get the big contract on a good team. I mean, that's what that's it's a backdoor way in of doing that, and it's like
But that's also if they get draft picks back and they're that shitty, then it's not that bad of a deal, kind of. because they're losing that high money contract. They're picking up draft picks.
Well, it depends. It depends on how much of that money they got to eat in the trade.
I'm just saying. I would just.
But if you're
trying
an
to bring
NFL owner,
something
do you
good
want
out
to
of
start
it.
that trend? You want to reward that trend as an owner? Say, hey, you know what? I'm going to pay Rav $100 million on an 8-year deal, right? And then after 1 year, Rav's like, I hate it here. Trade me. Now I trade him. I'm still going to be on the hook for some of that money. But yeah, I get all these draft picks, which is great for my rebuild, maybe. But I'm paying Rav still.
Which is the problem with guaranteed contracts.
Right.
Here's the other thing. We just went through this in Baltimore. Tyler Linderbaum. I mean, that contract blew the doors off of anything the Ravens were offering, and the Ravens offered them a lot of money. Like they $27 million. The next center was getting $20 million. Why did the Raiders have that kind of money? They had cap space. Bad teams are also the teams with all the cap. I just looked at the cap for next year. A lot of these teams next year, who has the most cap space? The Dolphins. Why? They're terrible. They just got rid of that contract, etc. Look, it's 2027 season they're talking about.
Well, I don't think Linderbaum's going to want out of Vegas because they're going to be pretty good. Right? The way that defense is looking now, they're going to be a pretty good team, and they're building the right way.
Dolphins,
like they're going to get better.
Dolphins way under the cap. Cardinals way under the cap. Falcons way under the cap. Jets way under the cap. And Raiders again. The only good team is the Rams, like in the top 5 as far as, and that's preliminary. Over the cap is like preliminary, etc. But that's kind of historically the way it goes. Like bad teams have the cap space to push the market if they want to push the market. Yeah, you don't really see a lot of good teams with a lot of
I mean, I think if I'm Arizona, like unless I get a haul, I get what I want. Sorry, dude, you're staying. You know, I mean, and it's not to be mean to the dude, but it's like, you know, unless I get what I want, you're just stuck. You're stuck like Chuck. Sorry.
Then you risk having an unhappy player, yada, 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 malcontent, and you got to deal with that drama.
I get it, but I'm not going to, but look, I'm only going to get rid of him if I get what I want. I'm not going to get rid of him just because he's unhappy. Like, I need to it has to make sense for the Arizona, too. You know, the Arizona has to get what they need to get out of it, or makes it, now they're just losing money because he's unhappy. So then he just suckered, right? He just in bad faith going to give him a big contract, and now they're gonna end up losing on him, not just financially, but with the draft. You know, okay, you're gonna pick up a 4th rounder, but you're giving up a player who's better than that. You know, he's probably worth a 2nd round pick. I'm sorry, unless I get a 2nd round pick for you, dude, you're staying right here because I spent that kind of money on you. It prohibited me from doing other things I would have done to make this team better.
Not exactly the same situation in New York. John Harbaugh just gets there. Dexter Lawrence starts crying about his contract. The door immediately. Goodbye. John Harbaugh, veteran coach, not going to put up with that stuff.
Nope.
That's how they act when guys act like this, because they don't want to deal with a whole season of a guy complaining and crying about his contract and worried about and that stuff. Sometimes they don't tolerate this type. And this is what I'm just telling you the risk you're taking when you have that type of attitude. When you say, okay, well, oh well, and too bad, and player just, you know, again, this is not the real world. A real job, people have to suck it up for years or their whole life, or Army especially. Hey, you got a contract, he's gonna get over it. You know, but in the NFL, where people have millions of dollars in options, no, they're not going to just always just deal with it. You got to make it right. You got to do business.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that situation plays out. It really is. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a good hockey game going to the 3rd period, tied at 3.
A baseball game, too. Pirates are winning 6-4.
I like that Ryan O'Hearn home run.
Oh, yeah. They took Dos Santos out and put Steve Okert on the mound. Like, that's going to help anything.
And if Jamie was here, the Guardians are beating the Yankees.
Well, we got a tie game in the Stanley Cup going in the 3rd inning, 3-3. Or 3rd inning, 3rd period, 3-3. Sorry. Everyone
Rangers and Cardinals tied at 4.
I can't.
Oh, the days in our lives.
Oh, we're getting a rematch for the national championship in softball, Texas Tech. Hopefully, Glasgow can win his first. So wreck 'em, Raiders.
Dude,
No,
there was,
most definitely.
how about Cal Poly beating UCLA?
Yes.
Fuck UCLA, the University of California lame asses.
No. What's even more impressive is the fact that UCLA lost their first two, hosting a regional as the number one team in the country. Now I found out,
and they probably have the
traveling to
number one
Morgantown,
pick in the
baby.
draft on their team.
well,
And sent
but
him home.
but I also found out some things about UCLA today. Their ace pitcher, their starting left fielder and their backup left fielder and their leading hitter all got hurt in the Big 12 tournament or Big 10 tournament.
Well, Cal Poly also beat them in the regular season as well.
Right, but they didn't have any of those guys going into the regional. And
that's and we know that.
Yeah.
And 8 new faces are going to be going to Omaha because the 8 teams that went last year are not going this year. LSU, Coastal, UCLA, Murray State, and I forgot Wake Forest.
There's 9 unranked teams that made the Super Region.
Yep.
All right.
And the funny part of it is with the radio stations that I work with, if Troy, Alabama, Auburn all go, and Georgia all go, I'll have 4 teams in Omaha representing my 2 radio stations.
Alabama ain't going. They're going to lose. Auburn probably ain't going to go either. That's going to be a toss-up with Ole Miss. But I got Georgia beating Mississippi State. And then
is Phelps going to be able to play with Georgia, or did he only get kicked out of that game for that excessive home run celebration, which was bullshit? Why he got kicked out?
He will have to miss the first game.
I laughed at that. I said that's good for his ass. No, I'm guaranteeing 3 SEC teams in Omaha for sure. Georgia's 1, Oklahoma's beating Kansas, and then the winner of Auburn, Ole Miss, which I wouldn't like Auburn, but I think Ole Miss is going to beat Auburn.
Well,
I don't have Bama going.
I get that home run celebration was a little excessive, but there's a real easy way to solve that problem. Don't give up the home run.
What about
I
that?
kind of agree with Rich there and that whole thing. I don't know what a guy's not supposed to be excited he got a home run. I kind of never liked that either.
What about the Arizona State guy that tossed his bat up in the air after he got struck out, and then he got ejected for that?
Yeah, see, that's just bad react. That's stupid.
That's what I meant, by the way. The home run thing was stupid. That one was an idiot. That he was pissed, and I like how the little boy behind home plate was talking with the ref, like he checked him, and they ejected him.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't. The negative reaction like that, especially if it has a chance of hurting somebody. Yeah, I mean, the fact that the Georgia guy was talking shit on the other dugout. Again, don't give up the home run. It's just like in football, you make a great catch and you want to get up and celebrate it. Great. Now, if you're down 20 when you do it, you're an idiot. But if if it's a tight game, you make a fantastic catch on 3rd down to give your team the first down to continue driving down the field, celebrate a little bit. Yeah. Don't be concerned about if you get flagged for pointing for a first down or whatever. Horse crap, man.
Which, I mean, that's getting a little ridiculous. I mean, just don't do it in front of the freaking refs. Like, our players have gotten flags because they got the first down. They want to stand and point like that on the side, right in front of the chain crew and right in front of the referee running on the side. The referee catches that, he's going to throw a flag while he's running, and I've had to pull players off the field for that shit.
You can no longer celebrate when you do something well because it'll hurt other team's feelings that you just beat.
Life sucks. Get a helmet.
I hear you.
I've pulled a player off the field for that, and I've seen my former head coach now pull 2 guys off the field doing that in 2 separate games.
I say let him taunt him. Let him go. Let him taunt him. Let Tyreek throw up a
Sport-
piece on like deuces, bitches. You can't catch me. Make you
When-
catch me.
When you're
You know what I mean?
watching the Little League World Series or something like that, I do understand that that can go too far. These are still young men, etc. But outside of that,
Right.
yeah, I'm like, you know, that's
There's
what's so cool about the World Baseball Classic. They're celebrating the international
Well-
style. They're having fun out there. I'm so glad.
there's a whole lot of things that you can do in this world once you turn 18 that you can't do before you turn 18. If you want to celebrate and in some cases make an ass out of yourself over 18, great. When you're under 18, be a sportsman. You know, you don't do that kind of stuff. You know, you don't do the stupid stuff as a kid. Once you get into college and pro ball, fire away, pitch till you win. Now, granted, you may take a fastball in the ribs the next time you step up to the plate. That's also part of the territory too. You know, you take the 95 in the ribs. Well, okay, you know, there you go. But
Well, I got something. If all you video gamers out there, they just revealed the cover for EA Sports College Football 27. You got Kawan Lacey from Ole Miss, Malachi Tony from Miami, and Dante Moore from Oregon on the regular cover. Special edition, the deluxe cover, you got them three, and then you got Indiana's coach on the cover and a couple of mascots like Mike the Tiger and the Hilltopper in the background and shit. I don't know if this is true, but someone said that Caleb Fingernail Painting Bitch Ass Williams is supposed to be on the cover for Madden. And if that's the case, then the Bears are officially cursed. That's why they didn't get that new
I
stadium.
understand it's for the special edition. I don't know. I was about to say, has anyone actually seen it, or is this another?
I think it was
it's supposed to be the picture I've seen is him doing the Iceman thing.
Yeah, I saw that too, and I said that's official. That's why they got their damn stadium. That's their curse. They didn't get their stadium. Because when you brought the stadium,
darn.
If they didn't get that stadium, I'm blaming the Madden curse. But I figured it was going to be someone legit to get the damn cover. I didn't expect they were going to give it to Caleb Williams. Well, he made one blow. Oh, they beat the Carolina Panthers in the playoffs. Anybody could beat Carolina in the playoffs, but I'm thinking it would have
beat Green Bay in the playoffs.
Give the Danhausen cover. You are cursed.
You know who I figured would have probably been on the cover? Like freaking JSN or something. JSN or at least JSN or they already did Josh Allen. They've done I don't know, they could have probably did somebody else, but
do they duplicate? I'm trying to think. Have there been more guys that have done more than one appearance on the cover?
Tom Brady.
A couple guys.
Okay, again, has there been anybody good? Has there been anybody good?
I'm trying to think if Ray Lewis had more than one. I don't think he did. I know he had the one.
He had the 05 cover. Drew Brees had 11. John Madden covered it more than anybody else. And
well, yeah, I don't count him because he was on the first 10 covers or something like that.
You're not going to dump it.
The only players to be on the cover more than once is Shady and Mahomes.
And Brady, yeah, Shady and Mahomes, yeah. I was thinking of no, that's the only two players.
And Barry Sanders was on the back of Madden 2000 and the main cover of Madden 25.
I don't think there's anything wrong with having Caleb Williams on it. I mean, a lot of people think he's a top 5 quarterback. I'm not one of them. I'm not putting him that.
That whole Iceman persona and the way that year ended, it's marketability. And let's face it, he is marketable. He is a very marketable quarterback right now. So it would make sense for them to put him on there if he's a marketable player. There's some hype around him.
Top 5 market, too.
Yeah.
Top 5 market, Chicago, New York, Chicago, Los Angeles. You know, that's what they want. So,
yeah.
I know Josh Allen covered it not long ago. I'm waiting for he probably won't get on it till he gets protection. I could see Joe Burrow a future Madden cover, Jake Daniels a future Madden cover, Bijan Robinson will be a future Madden cover guy. Probably Probably Bryce. Lamar already covered it, so he already had his flowers. Who else? I can see old boy from the Lions, the wide receiver. He could be on the cover soon.
Brown.
St. Brown. I mean,
Amon-Ra.
Megatron covered it one year. I forgot what year it was, but I know Megatron covered it.
Yeah, he did.
One of the weirdest covers was that fullback for the Cleveland Browns for Madden 2012. I forgot his name. He covered it the year after.
Peyton Hillis.
Peyton Hillis.
Peyton Hillis.
Well, there was a lot of guys turning it down.
Yeah,
They've had a lot of guys because of the man curse. So a lot of guys, there's a lot of players that don't want to be on there.
Can you believe, like, of all people, Aaron Rodgers was never on the cover. Peyton was never on the cover. Shocked Matthew Stafford never been on the cover, but I think he turned it down.
Is it something where they turned it down, or it's because they had contracts with other merchants? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Richard Sherman been on the cover. Gronk was on the cover.
Yeah.
Now I know Victor Wemby supposedly made the cover for NBA 2K27. I don't know if that's true or not. They usually give it to the MVP, and they ain't even announced the MVP yet of the league.
Not women.
Yeah, they did. Shea.
SGA, yeah.
SGA?
Yeah, Shea won it back to back. Yeah.
Oh, the MVP award. Okay, well, but
yeah, Shea's back to back league MVP.
Well, I heard rumors Wemby was supposed to be on the cover for 27, and the Legends cover. I'm trying to think. I want to see a legend that never made the cover yet. Like, I love Michael Jordan, but him and Kobe have been on it too much. I like when they get somebody new, like they did Carmelo Anthony last year. They did Vince Carter a couple years ago. Finally. When are you gonna put? I mean, Shaq, I think, made a cover too, bro. When are you gonna put like?
Well,
I don't know.
Michael Jordan is more famous than Jesus Christ. Him and Michael Jackson. I mean, more people like you talk to a 10-year-old kid who's the best player. A lot of them will say Michael Jordan.
No, if I tell it, no.
Well,
I take that back. You know, the 10-year-old will probably say who the greatest athlete in the world is right now, Cristiano Ronaldo.
And he would be
it's
wrong.
Possible, but I agree with what Ken was saying when it comes to the marketability on Wemby. You know, he's another one that he's a marketable guy. You know, not only could you do a lot of kids stuff with the height, you know, with posters and that kind of deal, and you could do a lot of stuff with Wemby.
I mean, I'm seeing a rumor like if they keep it with the same team, if Wemby gets the cover 2K27, they might put Tim Duncan on the Legends cover, make it all San Antonio vibe.
Yeah, good.
Or Parker. Or what's another Spurs legend they can use? Parker, Tim Duncan.
Well, considering that unfortunately he may not be around too awful much longer. What about Pop?
A coach on the cover? Never had that. Right. Yeah, but then the platoon of pissed off women are going to get mad they don't have a WNBA athlete on their edition cover. Because they gave it to Angel Reese.
Someone that's mad, man. Like you're never gonna make all these people happy. Someone's always been pissed off.
I think Popovich too is the greatest coach. I think almost in any sport. I think I love Popovich. Popovich actually, here's what he does that I like so much. He coaches.
Go baby. Yeah, he's up there with Belichick.
You know who else you could put on the cover? Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, you can put Phil up there. You could put Riley up there. You know, you could even put Auerbach up there for that, as far as that goes. But yeah, I mean, the big difference between Pop and Belichick, as far as the coach goes, Pop only did it with one team. He didn't fail with 3 or 4 teams and then went to the Spurs. He went to the Spurs and built them. Now, granted, he had the fortunate misfortune of David Robinson tearing his knee and getting the number 1 pick and getting Tim Duncan. But at the same time, that was a really good team before Duncan got there. So he created. I think I could agree. He may be the best coach across the board.
Popovich took the first guy from Duncan, Ginobili, Robinson, all that. They got cussed out and yelled at the same as the 12th guy. I saw it forever. That was the biggest. That was Kawhi Leonard's problem. He was getting treated like everybody else. He was the dumb. Popovich was just always screaming at him.
I'll tell you what.
Just like he did with anybody.
I know this is a 1999 rematch, but you want to have a real throwback? How y'all feel about them putting the Larry O'Brien trophy back in mid-court right behind the logo for the finals? We'll have the trophy on the court art again, right behind the team's logos.
Well, I mean, it makes sense since it's the finals. It makes complete sense.
I wish the Stanley Cup would do that. Like, put the big old Stanley Cup behind the Vegas logo or the Hurricane logo. That'd be some legit shit too. But
NHL too, I love their celebration. The only sport where the first person to touch the trophy isn't the owner. It's the captain. I love that.
I love the I also love the curse that whoever wins the Governor's Cup never wins the Stanley Cup the same year. So the Avs won the President's Trophy. I'm sorry, not the Governor's Cup, the President's Trophy. The Avalanche won, and this is for Ken. How happy are you that Arsenal blew it and did not win freaking Champions League, and PSG went back to back?
They should have both lost. You know what I'm going to say, because look at it.
Yeah, I get it. Harry Kane.
We was robbed.
Yeah, they were robbed, but hey, Arsenal's the only team in freaking London to never win Champions League, and it's funny as hell. They are just as bad. They say Manchester United is the Dallas Cowboys of the Premier League. I don't know. Arsenal's fans are just as bad as, or they could be like Packers fans to Ken.
Packer fans are, maybe they are. Arsenal always talks big game, but it's not the Governor's Trophy.
I said the wrong name. I'm sorry.
Cup. Are you sure no one's won the President's Cup and the Cup in the same year?
I don't know. I don't think it ever happened because they said the last 5 years the hockey team that won the President's Trophy never won the Stanley Cup. And the Avs won it this year, and they got shut out by Vegas in 4 games.
If memory serves correctly, the last team to win the President's Cup and the Stanley Cup are your Fighting Penguins.
Y'all a different breed. But Ken had something to share.
Wait, what are we talking about?
The President's Trophy.
Are you still at that concert from last night? Who'd you go see?
The last team to win the President's Trophy and the Stanley Cup in the same year, I think, was the Penguins.
Wait. Who was it?
I went and saw Taking Back Sunday.
Hold on, I've got the list in front of me. I looked it up. Okay, teams that have won both in the same season. The last team that won, I knew this was it. I just wanted to check it. The 2013.
It was the Blackhawks.
Damn.
Before that, the 07-08 Red Wings, the 01-02 Red Wings, the 2000-2001 Avalanche, the 98-99 Stars, the 93-94 Rangers, the 88-89 Flames, the 86-87 Oilers.
Was that the Theo Fleury year?
1988 was Theo Fleury.
I know Ken told me before y'all got on, like whenever old boy from the Canes scored that goal in 25 seconds in the first period, he said that was the third fastest goal in game 1 of the finals.
Yeah, that's insane.
I'm still calling them the Patrick division and the Norris division and the Wales kind. So I'm way behind. I never stopped doing that. Like it called.
I mean, you know what I love about the Cup final? Crazy shit happened. Think about it.
Absolutely.
Carolina at home goes up in the first 25 seconds of the game. They're up 1-0. By almost midway, just over midway through the first, they're up 2-0. Here we are now with 16 minutes left in the third, and they're down 4-3. You go to 2013, Game 6 in Boston. The Bruins think they've got a Game 7 with a minute and 15 or so, minute 32 left or whatever it was. 15 seconds later, the Blackhawks are up 3-2
Mm-hmm.
and win the Stanley Cup. I mean, the Cup does weird things. You gotta love the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Well, the Stanley Cup playoffs are the real free-for-all. Other than the NCAA tournament, the seeding, you could throw that out. You don't know what's going to happen. Usually what happens in the NHL, who has the best goalie going into the thing, and that usually comes out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Sometimes it goes from the regular season, but when I was watching, definitely last time in the playoffs, guys would really become great goaltenders and take their team far.
That's how the Rangers won it in '94. The Rangers won it in '94 because John Van Beesbrook stood on his head for 6 weeks.
When the Hawks went 92, 91 season, when they went to the Stanley Cup, how'd they get there? On the back of Eddie Belfour. I mean, this is a league where if your goalie gets hot at the right time, he can carry his team to a cup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ryan Miller, guys like that.
Well, like Quick wasn't that great of a goalie.
I don't think Ryan Miller's ever won a Stanley Cup.
He would get hot. He would get hot in the playoffs. Quick would get like super hot in the playoffs, but he wasn't a great goalie.
Ryan Miller hasn't won a Stanley Cup, Rob.
I don't think did the Sabres win a Stanley Cup?
Nope.
Nope, they lost to Dallas in '99. That's the last time they were in.
That's what I'm thinking of.
I love their hype video they did where it says, getting to the cup ain't the hardest part, it's playing for it.
Yeah. Oh, I think if you want to talk about playoffs and trophies and championships, the Stanley Cup for me, as far as like professional sports, not nations competing, but clubs or organizations like this, I think the NHL has the best trophy in playoffs in sport because unlike baseball, basketball, football, like Rav said, the seeding doesn't matter. 1 seed, 7 seed doesn't matter. And you get, look at this game today. I mean, game 1, 25 seconds in, you're up 1-0. 13 minutes in, you're up 2-0. Now we're 14 and a half minutes left and you're down 4-3. And you know what? Who knows? Maybe Carolina scores 2 goals in a matter of 15 seconds and wins 5-4 tonight. I mean, it's the NHL is so unique.
I love when they drink.
The game, but the format.
Somebody can probably answer this for me. I love the tradition where they drink beer out of the Stanley Cup, but which hockey player ate cereal out of it?
Oh, a lot have. So as far as trophies go, the Cup, man, it's got a unique history. They have some documentaries that done with the keeper of the Cup, and people eating breakfast out of it. They've drank beer, champagne. They've had babies in it.
What?
All kinds of crap.
Oh my god!
Yeah, they put babies in it.
I gotta watch this.
Someone tried to make babies on the Cup.
The night the Stanley Cup came. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say here's a couple of. I just looked this up. Some of the most unique and legendary ways to use the Stanley Cup by the winners. After the Detroit Red Wings won in '08, Chris Draper put his infant daughter into the cup, where she immediately had an accident. He reportedly cleaned it out and drank from it later the same day. When the Penguins won in '91, Mario Lemieux took the trophy to his home and floated it in the swimming pool to see if it would stay afloat. In '94, Eddie Olczyk took the cup to the Belmont Stakes and fed oats and food directly to the winning racehorse. Sidney Crosby took the trophy out on a lake near his home on his jet
I remember that one.
Yeah. And then in 1906, the Montreal Wanderers forgot it at a photographer's studio. It stayed there so long that the photographer's mother used it as a flower pot to grow geraniums.
That's great. That's great.
So, Rich, just to confirm your story, when it was floating in Lemieux's pool, it sunk and it broke at the bottom of the pool.
It did.
And it's the only trophy where everyone
Well, you
who
had to
wins
pay for it to get fixed.
you don't get to keep it, right?
All right.
It's not like the Lombardi. The team gets to keep it. It's not like World Series. They get to keep it. You have to give this trophy back. Now, there's 3 Stanley Cups. There's a Touring Cup. There's 2 Stanley Cups. There's the Touring Cup, which is the cup that you'll see when they win it. Then there's the cup that's always at the Hall of Fame, right? And then you've got the rings of the cup that have been retired that are in the vaults of the Hall of Fame.
So the one they keep in their like trophy case is a replica?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get to keep the original. You get like a smaller replica version. Yeah.
Because when I went to Dallas one time, I went to an NXT show. I walked around the venue and I saw their only freaking Stanley Cup they won in '99, right next to the only NBA trophy they ever won in 2011, right next to the Mavericks.
Yeah,
And it looked small, and it was small, and I'm like, I thought this thing was fucking massive.
No, it's like the Lombardi. Like the players get a smaller version of the Lombardi, like the one behind me. They get a smaller version. Well, that's the same thing with the Stanley Cup. Like the team for the Lombardi, the team keeps the original, and then players get a smaller one, like the ones behind me, that you can get signed, stuff like that. The Stanley Cup belongs to the NHL. The teams don't get to keep it. They get a replica for their display cabinet.
They do all get a day with the full cup, though. That is the real cup.
And,
Yeah,
okay, what is all that inscription that's all over the goddamn trophy? Is
every
that like
player?
It's the rosters of every team that's won it.
God damn, you're gonna have to make that thing bigger in the next 20, 30 years.
Well, no,
They add.
They take off the ring and then they put
yeah,
it in the
so
trophy
the
case.
new ring, the newest ring is on the bottom. So when they fill that ring, the very top ring gets retired, and the whole thing gets pushed up.
So the most recent winners of it, their name goes after a while. Your name goes off unless you like win it twice. Then your name will just stay on there long.
Well, no, yeah, I mean, like your name will stay on it, and then when your ring gets retired, it just goes in the vault. So you'll always be on that ring.
I wonder how many rings have retired. A bunch.
I can't remember.
No, I'm pretty sure the
I've been to
other
the Hall of
leagues.
Fame.
I'm pretty sure the other leagues are not like that. Like if you win the Lombardi, you keep that forever. You don't have to return that shit to the end.
No, but if you win the Daytona 500, you do not keep the trophy. The trophy stays at Daytona. You get a replica because it's very similar. It has the names of all the winners on plates on the trophy.
I don't know if I
And
ever.
actually, the same
I've
thing
never
for the
been.
Vicenza, the Hart Trophy, all the trophies in the NHL, like Vicenza, Hart, whatever, Norris. You don't get to keep that trophy. You get a replica because the original has all the nameplates and is kept at the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Well, I don't.
Yeah, I know Daytona and Indy both have the names of the winners engraved on the original trophy, and they go to the track. The Indy 500 original trophy is at Indianapolis. The Daytona 500 original trophy is at the Daytona Motor Speedway, International Speedway.
Yeah, it's interesting how that stuff works, to be honest.
Well, I'm never betting NASCAR ever again. I don't even want to talk about NASCAR. I'm never betting again after the shit that happened in freaking Charlotte, where they shut the whole race down after a massive rainout with 27 laps, and everybody lost their bets because nobody betted freaking Suarez to win that damn race.
But if you paid attention, you would have taken Suarez because he was Kyle Busch's really good friend.
I don't know if that was rigged or not, but I was picking Larson. I betted Larson, and
They
I
said-
betted, I think, Christopher Bell. I think I betted Bell on one parlay and Larson on another. But
They said the same thing when Dale Earnhardt died. All of a sudden, Junior starts winning races after Dale Earnhardt died. That it's fixed, that it's rigged, etc. I heard that.
that's just like the Lakers winning the bubble for Kobe in 2020. That shit was so rigged because if that shit wouldn't have happened, the Lakers wouldn't have made the damn playoffs if the world wouldn't have got shut down.
All right, guys, I have to bug out. It's 10:30. I gotta bug out.
Me too.
You can get me at Drive. You can get me at Driving to the Top Productions on YouTube. You can find me on Ad McNally on Facebook. You can get me at Sports Talk Again on Twitter. I thank all the comments tonight. Good show tonight, boys, but I am bugging out.
I'm gonna fly too. Twitter, Big Rich 8371. Facebook, just my name, Rich Richardson. Tomorrow night, that guy that was above me a minute ago, Adam, will be doing Steel City Sports Talk like we do every Wednesday at 9 Eastern. Marcus is going to join us to talk Pirates Astros. The current Pirates Astros game, the Pirates are up 9-4 in the top of the eighth after a 3-run top of the eighth inning. So we'll be talking about Pirates and Astros come tomorrow night. And that's it,
And
man. Boys, again, I appreciate everything. It's always a pleasure. But
Paul
I'm out.
Skeens versus Spencer Argetti tomorrow.
Yep.
I'm at Dirty South ENT _ and reminder, coming up June 14th, we got our watch along for UFC Freedom 250, hosted by myself and Driving to the Top Productions. It's going to be a fun one. Once I get a time on the start of the fights, I'm going to go live 15 minutes before the card goes live on Paramount Plus. I'm going to send the link to everyone in the chat, and then if you're not in our group chat and want to be a part of it, directly message me, and I will immediately send you the link. That goes for Ken, and if he's not in that chat, I think if Rav, if you're not in the chat, yeah, okay, then you'll have it. And then if Rav's in the chat too, he'll have it too. I can't keep up
catch
with
me at Talking Sports 18 at X. Ken and Ken in the morning, every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Central. I'm here with these guys. I try to be here every Tuesday, but life's been crazy. And the Bears show is kind of on hiatus right now. I think we'll get going here pretty shortly, though.
All right. And also to Ravery Sports Podcast this week, tomorrow night. So our regular podcast is going. Top 20 NFL free agent signings of all time. We're going to start the show with that. Who were the 20 best NFL free agent signings of all time? Talk a little about the OTAs. Outstanding Western Conference Finals. We're going to preview the NBA Finals as well. Talk about the Chesapeake Bay Sox. Orioles double 18. We're talking about that tomorrow. And also, too, we're going to recap the whole month of May for the Orioles, who are surging lately as well. All right. You guys have anything else?
I'm good.
Oh, shit. They tied the game.
Yeah.
You guys out there watching, thank you very much
Short-handed.
for watching. The Driving to the Top Productions, and also to enjoy the game. 4-4 looks like here. We got a good stuff here in the NHL. So these guys are locked in. You guys have a great night.
8:41 to go. Yep, 8:41 to go, and yeah, I would shit if they